So I think this is pretty significant. Clearly, quite a bit we don't know and won't know about it. But as Liz just outlined, the Washington Post gives the start of the story. Michael Brooks is a producer with Majority Report and joins me now from our New York studio to talk more about this. Michael, so the kill list is out, but a disposition matrix is in. What is the difference between these two?
Well, you know, as with so much with this program, it's kind of hard to know what is what because a lot of it is still very secret, and we're kind of learning this information sort of as it leaks out gradually. The disposition list seems to be more kind of integrated. There's more variables they're taking into account. But it looks to me like it's something that happens almost before the kill list because it's a way of disaggregating who's going to be targeted with a drone or who's going to be arrested or extradited. So it seems to me like a model that's used along with the kill list and integrated with it versus maybe a replacement.
Yeah, on one hand, I mean, from what I was reading about it, in some ways it just looks like a really thorough plan. You know, if there's a suspect or somebody on this list that's found in a country that's unexpected, you know, it joins the different agencies together and says, you know, this is how this agency reacts or responds in this situation. This is how they respond in this situation. But so do you think it's anything more, Michael, than just a really thorough plan?
Well, I think what it is it's a bureaucratic, you know, these policies are getting formed and they're getting streamlined, and things that were kind of happening on an ad hoc basis are getting formalized and institutionalized. And, you know, what's interesting in the article that's really significant is the whole notion that, you know, even in the 90s, going after Osama bin Laden himself was seriously controversial. And now the notion of going after specific targets, having a kill list and having multiple procedures around it is just getting formalized into the bureaucracy and security structure of Washington. I mean, I think what's really problematic here is you don't see a structure accompanying it. You don't see, you know, a Geneva Convention on drones. You don't see the type of more legal, humanitarian, international law models to go along with how this is being implemented, and I think that that's really problematic.
Yeah, certainly hard to underscore just how significant September 11th was in terms of what was viewed as a good option versus a bad option. I think it's an important point that you make in that article. President Bill Clinton at the time was given the option, but you know, just using drones was not something that was normal. But now we have David Petraeus. He is asking not only to keep this drone program, but to expand it. Do you think this indicates that overall the view is that it's been successful?
Well, I think it depends on how we're defining success. You know, Barack Obama ran a very interesting campaign on foreign policy in 2008 because he basically said, on one hand, look, I'll be more aggressive against al-Qaeda than the Republicans. I'll go into Pakistan without permission. I'm going to really prioritize hitting certain people and hitting this group, which clearly he's done, and the drones are a significant part of that. On the other hand, he promised to repair the U.S. image abroad, which I think in some respects he has, and he also promised to kind of shift U.S. foreign policy in a way that the origins of terrorism, like unjust U.S. policies abroad and things like that, would be lessened. And what you've seen here is that while the drone program is maybe tactically successful in getting specific people, you've seen the same president who has been unable to close Guantanamo really in some ways create the next Guantanamo in terms of an al-Qaeda recruiting tool because of the really significant humanitarian toll that the drone program has on the ground. So it's a paradoxical legacy, and I don't think, I think tactically it's been a success. I don't think strategically and going into the long term it's been a success in the same way.
It's interesting, too. Drones mentioned at the presidential debate earlier this week, but it was one question, and it was only answered by Mitt Romney. Take a listen.
I believe that we should use any and all means necessary to take out people who pose a threat to us and our friends around the world. And it's widely reported that drones are being used in drone strikes, and I support that entirely. and feel the president was right to up the usage of that technology and believe that we should continue to use it to continue to go after the people who represent a threat to this nation.
President Obama did not answer the question, but as we see, they seem to agree very much. Do you think there are political implications in the use of drones?
Well, I think there aren't political implications right now domestically because drones are really politically appealing. I mean, you basically can kind of project force overseas in a way that's more discreet from a domestic U.S. point of view. And then you can basically selectively leak, look, we just killed this guy, we just got that guy. You can use terms like surgical, which, you know, I think the intention is surgical. I don't think that there's an intention to go out and kill civilians, but the effect is obviously not surgical. But
yeah, I think when you hear these numbers, 3,000 that Liz was saying earlier, that drone strikes have killed, put that in perspective, that's, you know, a similar number that we heard about, you know, were killed in the World Trade Center on September 11th. So I think there's still a lot more that will develop out of this. Appreciate having you on the show. Michael Brooks, producer with the Majority Report.
Thank you.